It's day 2 of PUBG Europe Contenders, and we're at the final stage. And when we say the final stage, it's still a hell of a lot of games. Actually, 45 still to go. We had 3 played yesterday on a wrangle, and we're going all Miramar once again today. It will just go back and forth as we had in some of the previous weeks, as we had in the opening weeks. And as always, you've got myself, James Banks, joined by the name is Toby, to deliver all the commentary once again and take you through what is turning out to be quite an interesting start here. Northern Lights, straight off the bat, right? They had a win, then a second place, could have won it, close to it as well. Winside took one for themselves, and so did Riddle.
It was extremely interesting, and of course the points here show that, well, we're just 3 games into it, just 3 games in, but Moonwolf, talked about the community yesterday, showed what they were capable of doing despite not having a single win, still sitting tight in second. But now, of course, as you said, James, we are headed on over to Miramar. And I guess we kind of said that that yesterday was a fresh start. It kind of also is today, because these games, these teams, of course, haven't all fought each other with this specific group of teams on Miramar before. So there will indeed be some stepping on each other's toes in the first couple of games.
Now, you were just mentioning Moonwolf there, right? Just to go through what actually happened for them yesterday. So they had an 8th place coming in, which obviously gets you 1 placement point. They had a 5th place with 7 kills, and then they had a 4th place with 11 kills. So that's 18 of their 28 points there, just coming from kills alone.
Gotta keep in mind as well, the first game where they had that 8th place game, they got 11 kills to it. So, or second, or whatever it was. They had an 11 kill and a 7 kill game on the first 2 ones. So
second one, yes.
Yeah, exactly. That was pretty damn impressive, to say the least. Point system, James, you can walk us through it today.
Yeah, pretty stable point system. We've had it every single day, every week. 1.1 kill. If you're not inside the top 8, it's a pretty damn terrible time for you. And as always, we say this, but really, you just want to be looking at 5th and up, because unless you're getting kills alongside it, this doesn't really mean too much. Yeah. And we see it. It is the teams who can regularly get themselves within top 6, for example, but then they're doing it alongside some kills with it. And they're the ones that we maybe not even see get wins. Maybe not ever do the wins come in, but yet they'll still be very highly placed on the overall standings. There's a bit of a key to success in how that can work out at times. And before you went on and said about what you want to say about Moonwolf there, I was going to just point out Occo again, because this man, on an individual level, is an absolute beast. And what I'm really excited to see from Moonwolf today is they didn't slow down on Miramar last time it turned around, but this is so much more competitive. They proved they can still do it on a wrangle. I want to see what the boys have got for us today here.
One thing I'm looking forward to see on Miramar is how Se7en will do. They had a rough set of games in that last day of the group stages. I believe it was like 15th, 16th, 15th, 14th, or something crazy like that. They really did not get anything going on Miramar.
Yeah.
And honestly, with their playstyle that they like to put into the playbook on Miramar, there are even more teams contesting them and doing so this time around. So who knows? Maybe it's just going to be all downhill. Unless if they can somehow turn things around and find maybe a new strategy to enforce here on the map.
They might need to find a new strategy with this lobby that they're in, because they clearly yesterday showed they couldn't get up to their old tricks again. It is a learning curve, and we know Se7en always do their homework. They get that research in, they change things up a bit. But as always, guys, we're going to have 3 games rather than 4 now, and that's how it's going to go out for the rest of this schedule. And you've got the next 3 matches, which will take us to match 6 already by the end of the day. And as you were saying there, Toby, when it comes down to Miramar, there are still some teams who just don't seem too happy or comfortable on it at all. It's like, I wouldn't say they wouldn't have put the work in, right? They've had to play it throughout these stages. They've had to get themselves ready for it. But they're just, when you look at it and you go, you didn't check that, did you? Like, they weren't aware of the position they had to play from. And now, yes, you can't know every single spot, but you should have a game plan of where you should be going, or someone should have an idea of how it should be planned out. For sure. And I think we're going to see some interesting starting games here, because there's going to be a lot of pushing and shoving. I think more pushing and shoving on Miramar than what we saw in the game.
Most likely, we'll see whether that's going to happen or not with this amazing southern plain. So anyone who wants to go north, well, you better pack your bags and prepare yourself for that road trip, because you are going on one, should you want to get all the way on up there. Winside, they're going to jump out early. Zoekt Een Naam, they're going to go to Porto Paraíso. We've talked about them a lot before on Miramar as being one of those, I don't want to call it reaction teams, but they'll just jump out pretty much no matter where the plane comes in from. They'll have an early exit. They value spending some time looting over, well, I mean, spending some time getting to where they want to do, to then potentially have to go all the way back again. Gamerlegion, they're going to go down towards Chumacera. Stella didn't make it in, so they're going to be uncontested, at least I would assume so, in that area of the map. Then we have Do we have multiple teams going Besiktas? I'm sitting and I'm looking for Moonwolf. Where are you guys? They are there. They are going towards Besiktas, hiding in the middle of all of them.
There is a lot of teams in that place. It's not easy to see at all.
We do have multiple teams going over west, though. You see 4AK and Avangar heading towards Montenegro. Now, Tornado Energy, they'll be going further up north towards El Pozo, but there are indeed a bit of a skirmish going down in Montenegro.
Yeah, this has been interesting because that's Avangar and 4AK, both the teams we normally see going up north as well.
That's the thing, right? Neither of them got the plane that they wanted to, and well, now they have to settle for a fight here. Or one of them could say, with having seen this circle, one of them could say, you know what? I mean, we'll happily contest it again at some other point, but right now we need to get a better spot in the circle. They have a chance to rotate, but what we see now is the fight between Winside and Besiktas, and it's kind of fun because there's actually a third team down here as well, but Lux does get the finish up on the boom, and PG18 being that third team down there might want to see if they can get an off angle on some people.
Very interesting to get this circle to start things off with. We saw this once maybe throughout the opening part. We did not really see these northwest circles, so it can bring a different dynamic to it when it comes down to it. I think we had one that ended towards Crater. That was about it. So it could be a new fight on the hands for a lot of these teams, but this makes the rotation for a lot of these teams that did want to go up north a little bit less awkward. They've taken new spots, but like you said, they can try to find new space now. It's more that how the rest of these teams are going to rotate around. I'd expect like your Zens, your Besiktas, them to kind of go full north and rotate all the way around and coming from the west, because no one's going to be wanting to come from this southern side where they know it's already going to be heavily stacked.
Exactly, I should say there. You'd assume them to go up on the northeastern side. The thing is, though, for Besiktas, I mean, sure, they might have taken down one of the guys on Winside, but they now know for a fact that these guys didn't deep drive north. And what's their game plan going to be? Are they going to sit around and wait for a potential rotation coming their way? Or are they just going to, Besiktas going to hope that they've also committed to making the rotation rather than try and kill them off before? It's all these thoughts that has to go through your head when whether you're the in-game leader or not. You have to constantly not only think we need to go here, we need to go there, but also think, what info did we get earlier? Do we have any way of knowing what's around us when we do get there?
Now we'd speak about the changes that we saw some of these teams make, and Tornado, who are just on your screens there, Aliyah ends up joining into the team now. New face for the lineup, trying to change things up a little bit, and we spoke about it a bit yesterday, right? It's one of those ones where you think, okay, this could be good, it could be bad, because you're changing middle of the pack, right? You've just got to this final stage, and how much can they really put to work in it? But Tornado didn't get off to the greatest of starts this time around.
No, they had some rough rotations yesterday, and to line up all the changes, I think we have 3 in total. We have Tuck joining Avangar, we have Aliyah joining Tornado Energy. That's a double swarm pickup for both those teams. And then we have over on We Need a Home, they have picked up Rep 9 from Art of War. See shots being fired here, Yannick, using literally all his bullets. Oh, fortunately doesn't have an AK to back it up. Then it's all shots fired towards him, but he stays alive.
So Winside just already going through a couple of fights that they did not want to have to take early on, but they can continue on up north. It's not going to be a problem for them. When we were talking about Moonwolf before, I'm just bringing up the stats to look at, and it was Oko who overall is just one player. He's leading the charge with kills, up to 11 kills overall just for him alone.
In 3 games too, that is extremely impressive. And a lot of them came in with him kind of not being on his own necessarily, but being in positions because he had his teammates there to apply pressure. But when it actually came down to the whole shooting and shooting back, it was him without cover, taking down multiple players. We saw it yesterday. He had a fight against Besiktas where he 1v2'd them in the end, where he actually was completely alone 1v2. So these kind of performances, when you have a teammate that can do that, that's going to be you being very happy.
Azverin tapping away. Oh, Vex slowing down there. Could have got a little bit awkward. More shots coming out towards him, but Azverin, surprisingly, can't hit the shots at that distance. It's normally what he does best.
He's a very talented shooter, so is everyone else pretty much in this server. And, well, unfortunately, not quite connecting what he wanted to there. But as you say that, they are indeed starting to head in. Oh, is he going to pop the tires? Nope, no, he's not. He's going to shoot up towards the vehicle. Great reaction play from Vex. Got to give it to him.
Yeah, he spots out the other car, realizes he's going to need it to get away. And he might be able to get away at this point because Azverin is struggling to hit all of these shots.
Tap, 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 and tap away and only hit a few.
A lot of bullets spent as well.
Yep, down to 28, and they already, I mean, they don't have to rotate right now, but they already were kind of in the middle of their rotation. You can see both Maxisol and Onoctive, they've already started driving up north, so wonder how much more time Azverin will get to pick up 762s.
Now, if you haven't got the map screen open at home, guys, some of the teams are already on their rotation. Winside we saw earlier, Besiktas just about to get in their vehicles and start moving. And Se7en, they're going to be going across. They've gone all the way down south, but they're going to run into Zen first, who's having a little battle with them. But what this means for Se7en is they obviously didn't want to go for this southern side, and they're also going to try. So the north could get quite contested in this new circle because a lot of teams want to take this exact approach.
And this is so interesting with the whole southern thing. Zoekt Een Naam, they wanted to go west because they heard all the fights happening with Besiktas, with PG, with Winside. They're like, there's no way in hell we're going to rotate that way. But now, Se7en, they said, we're not going to go west because we saw all the teams fly further west than us. They wanted to go east, and they just clash into one another. A lot of shots were fired with nothing happening. But now we do see Edelweiss go down, and he's going to get finished too. That's just, I mean, a case of two teams wanting to do the exact opposite thing from one another.
Yeah, and Zen just going to be able to stand their ground and hold it out. They'll get away with the first kill, but this is quite an interesting one. Avangar onto Moonwolf. Oko and Resu instantly being taken down. They're out in the fields. Tok was able to back Se7en up there as well, so the good fire coming in here from the Avangar players. But there's still now both players coming from Moonwolf. Edukos is in the compound. Washout's just approaching it. Can Avangar hold on to this and continue to fight back against them? Because they have got the 2-2 split going on with a Nuktiv up towards Creative Fields. And just outside of El Pozo, you've got Maxazor leaving the last two just on their own where you just saw him.
Yeah, you call it the 2-2 split. I call it the 1-1-1-1 split because Se7en is caught out behind that hay bale, and he needs a hell of a lot of help from Tok in order to get anywhere. And honestly, I mean, fortunately for Moonwolf, or fortunately for Avangar, Moonwolf were only 2 guys up. Because if they knew there were just one guy out in the open and one guy in the compound, they would just have split up on both sides and taken them down.
We speak about this ever so often with Avangar, the confidence in their team and the confidence in their players. Se7en does know he's got Tok there to help him out. And soon to the rescue is going to be Maxazor. So they will then outnumber the Moonwolf players. But for the Moonwolf players, do you really want to challenge this? You're in the circle already. Can you get away? Then that might be the option you want to take here, because how much time do you want to waste and spend when other teams will start hearing it and get involved as well? It could just come out to not benefit you in any way.
Also, we got to keep in mind they have only spotted 2 players. And sure, that might be them saying there's just a 2-2 split, but as we can see with Maxazor coming down to help, they've got to be thinking, where's the cavalry? When are they coming in? What position are they going to crash into us from? Because there's only 4 guys down so far. And well, Avangar, as they know, they have not lost a single one.
See Desperado making their push on in.
The only thing with this whole Maxazor situation pushing down is that Avangar actually lost one of the better compounds in this circle because he had to leave it. We'll see how that comes to be a factor. We need a home. They have found 2-0, and I'm not seeing him getting out of here.
Yeah, you are pinned down now. They've watched where you've gone. And they don't just have high ground, they have the high mountain above you. Yeah, they got a long road ahead of him. 2 of you are just going to pray that maybe someone will leave me alone, give me a chance, you never know.
Well, his teammates were there to put some suppressive fire up towards Lips, and you can see all the bullets flying up there. Now, new circle popping. Where are we going? Where are we going? Team South Sender, and well, they get to stick around for a little while longer. El Pozo gonna be in the field southeast of it. In as well, and then everything. I mean, as soon as we go down south of where next year is, pretty much, it's extremely open down towards Montenuevo.
See Avangar already go to push themselves further up, see if they can grab any other spots. The Nuktiv is on his own still, as you can see. Zen working their way through. They're not in the circle yet, but they're now going to take the southern side, and this could actually work out because, like we said, there were so many teams that you just saw on the map there who are still trying to go from the east, come all the way up north, then go over towards the west.
Maxazor is so fortunate that no one spotted him leave this compound early on in the game, because actually to get to claim it once more, and it is, well, I mean, not exactly center, that would be the field, but it is a rather centered position. As I was going to say, they have a chance to get some good rotation shots fired. They get the first ones on. Rita is going to go down, trying to get out of the vehicle before it blew up, but it did not help her.
That's another frag getting put on the board here for Avangar. Kills galore to start things off with, and this is the Avangar we're used to seeing, right, when it comes to it. Taking these engagements, playing it smart, backing each other up as a team and as a unit. And Nuktiv has even been able to escape down from outside of El Pozo and work his way with the rest of the team.
That is pretty impressive feat coming in from him. He was, well, I mean, he was in the middle.
Yeah,
he was in
surrounded.
The eye of the tornado, but I guess, as they say, that's also where it's the most calm. So fortunately, he got to rotate back down towards his teammates.
When you said I have Tornado, I thought you were going to go on some like nice storyline into like Tornado doing something to him, but then I realized they were a little bit too far away.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
That could have worked so nicely.
He had the tornado energy, not looking at, I don't know, yeah. I'm not going to ruin it anymore.
He had Tornado sucking away his energy and taking him down.
That just sounds weird. We need a home. They're going to make their...
We know where your mind goes.
We got Rita home making a rotation, and guys, this compound is taken. Rita was the scout before. Now they have Lipson. This is the vehicle. Rita was found dead in. That's the crime scene. Lipson, let's get the hilltop. This is actually a really good spot to play from. Oh, be complaining about that all, but Rip, he's not there to help. I'm not sure if he wanted to commit to it by himself or if Lipson not being shot at was a call for Rip to crash the compound, but he is indeed in trouble now.
All eyes on Se7en, but we need a home. We're going to be picked apart still by Avangar from great distances coming in here, and that instantly changes Polyderic and Lipson's look. They're like, okay, we thought we were safe up here for a bit. We can see one team's down in this compound, but now we're being shot at from the other side. We need to be very cautious because we have nowhere to hide.
And I think this was just a really unfortunate scenario where Lipson drove on the bike past the compound. No one came out to shoot at him, and then they have him say to Rip, "It's clear, you can crash it." And then as he came up, out he came to the opponents to take him down. Se7en, though, they now knew that, well, not only Avangar is sitting where they are, but they also have info that we need a home's remaining players made it up the hill, and that's one of those spots where if this circle goes north, Se7en could pretty easily get pinned down in here.
And that's not what they want. We were saying this yesterday, right? They had such a tough time before when it came to actually playing the games that opened this up with. Now, when we saw them previously as well, they did manage to make it through, but only by the skin of their teeth. There's many factors here for this Se7en lineup that, although we praise them for good reason, they have to still be able to deliver. And so far, that hasn't shown. So this game needs to be the one that turns it around for them, especially on Miramar. As we're going over hard towards the west, we're going over El Pozo and Zen. They've just crept in and said, "Oh, this is fine. We can deal with this."
Horrible for so many teams. You got El Pozo blocking off rotations. You got a huge field. Nobody would want to rotate through. This is just, I mean, this is going to be so tough for teams. A lot of them will have to crash into El Pozo, hoping that the next circles will go there. And for everyone else, there's pretty much nowhere available to play right now. You saw Moonwolf, they crashed up towards the double compound on the northern side of Montenegro earlier. And for everyone else that aren't already up here, I mean, it's pretty much just El Pozo or die.
Desperado taking some nice shots off towards Page. But the distance is quite great, means that it should be at least for Zen to have a chance if any players do get knocked to get the res in.
Let's see here, no tag. They did manage to make it through for a little while, but now they're getting found. Fake as well. Thought he had the compound, but I was already sitting well in it. Calvin does make his way on over, though, because he tells Zera now as well, wanting to go over and help too.
Avangar getting another kill on the board. Aros goes down. And these is where the fights are really going to start to kick off. No matter where you're going, as whatever team, this rotation is going to involve you fighting someone.
Yeah, rotations are going to be tough, and even more so the place you end up committing to in the end. Because if you're a team that has to rotate through multiple teams, we see it now, no tech under fire again there too. I mean, when you go into a fight, crashing a compound 4v4, that's hard enough on itself. But if you reach that compound with under half HP because you've been shot at the entire way there, that's pretty much a guarantee that you ain't going to be winning that fight. So tough break for all these teams trying to rotate in from the south and from the east now. Quickmath far up north trying to make that rotation, but that's going to force them on the edge too. It's going to be interesting to see Quickmath on the edge. What's going to happen?
Yeah, they normally have quite a bit of space to work with when it comes down to these games. As Max is always going to find himself going out. Avangar can fight all they like, but Northern Lights, our current #1 team on the standings, had an outstanding day yesterday, looking to get involved, and they're certainly not scared of taking this fight, but neither is Zen. They're straight away shooting onto Fake, and instantly he falls back. He can't afford to pressure this. Yeah,
Northern Lights made a long eastern rotation around, trying to get into a good position down there, and they have, well, I mean, they've made their way in, kind of, but there's still a push to make. Vasco trying to hold off the angle here. Knows the Calvin's over there. It's just about timing that shot with the health peeking out.
It's crazy as well, because Northern Lights, they're just trying to make sure they've got into this circle, but they've also got to be so cautious on all the other teams running in front of them. You can see Avangar right ahead of them. They already took down Maxazor, but there's nothing to play for, so you have to just dive around these ridges. As we need a home, they run straight up into Tornado, and they will find themselves going out in 16th place.
And it's a tough break for them. Unfortunately, out early, but these rotations did not work out the way they wanted to. A little bit of a bait happening with Se7en early, and then just they couldn't find.
Oh, we're going to El Pozo.
This circle is so bad. Wow.
Hard over the way to the west. Then we go pretty much northeast here. And El Pozo is included. Riddle, Gamerlegion, Tornado, PG18. They're going to be very happy. Anuctive, probably not so much, as he was put on the floor and then he was put to rest.
Inaccessible mountain, open field, and city. Those are the 3 options you have to go with here. What do you choose, guys? Pest, cholera, or just immediate death? Because that's pretty much what you got available.
Now, surprising, we've only had 1 team go out of it, but soon it could be more. As top also going to be taken out. That's now just Asverin left up with a chance to fight it off here.
This is going to be so interesting to see how teams will play it. There are still a lot of teams trying to figure, I believe, whether they should full-on commit making their way forward or try and see if they can stay outside of the city and hope some circles go in their direction. Because they know once you commit to the city, it's all about that close-quarter team deathmatch style of play. And hopefully, we'll see these guys get to leave that city at some point, but I'm highly doubting it at this point. Smoke thrown by Desperado, trying to stay put. Just 2 players by themselves down there. They do have all 4 guys alive, but as we can see, they don't have it easy. Fake now gone down too.
Avangar going out in 15th place as well. Asverin was picked off. They were out in the open. They may have got plenty of kills, but they won't get the placement points alongside it, at least this time around.
Fake does get finished off. Tausero is trying to run around and dodge all those nades, and somehow, at least for now, he's been able to do so. Mailman, an example, you can see they are still being pressured by the guys from above, but Zoekt Een Naam, they're pushing up towards Coldamenta too, and he is going to be caught all out in the open at some point soon.
Calvin Klein is quite far away there from Coldamenta as well, and Tozera. So it means at least for Desperado, they don't want to engage in any of this just yet. It's more about just sitting around, staying alive, and hoping it can go down in their favor later on.
Gotta give it to Quickmath too. They were playing the eastern side of the circle before, but they made a full-on rotation all the way around the north of El Pozo. Got themselves over to that west side where, I mean, arguably it's a little more quiet, but they also have a longer run to make sure the circle not shift towards them.
Nades come out, lands pretty much on top of Tozera. He's going to find himself on the floor, and again, the only thing that really his teammates can do is provide some cover fire if they try to come finish him off. I think pushing in is just far too risky here.
It is going to be extremely difficult. You're only human after all, and thinks also dodged something like 10 nades there, so...
he did well.
He did his very best, but unfortunately, the 11th was the one that killed him.
Besiktas trying to use the terrain to their advantage here. They lost a player early on, but still up with 3 alive for now. 4 AK close by. They're right on the edge of the circle. The Moonwolf players nearby of them still have to come inside of it.
No one's committed to the field. I both understand and respect and like that, because that would be them dying most likely. But
they saw what happened to Avangar and were like, yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, no one's out there. That means that there is not a whole lot of room for teams to fight around, because it does take up, I mean, not that big a part of it, but quite a part. Yeah, Frank, he's on his way in. He's taking his time, and he also knows that there's a ton of players near him, so he can't really up for a vehicle, because his teammate just did that and he got blown up.
Se7en not maybe getting a good start once again here. It is scary times ahead for this team. And yes, it's only day 2. Yes, there is 48 games in total, but this is match 4. And if you're not starting to show your stuff yet, you can quickly come away, as we're going to keep a bit of the fields in there. Yeah. Bit of awful mountain terrain, and then partially El Pozo, which keeps Riddle a Gamerlegion happy. But now instantly teams already start to move. Zen's firing on in. Tornado's getting extra kills as well. And this makes it so tricky.
This is going to be one hell of a bad place to play. From 7, they do inevitably go out. Frank, he ran for as long as he could, but he wasn't going to get on in. That's going to be a washout. Boink. Making it inside the circle. Welcome to the game, buddy. You still have 200 meters of depth to make it forward, and I don't know exactly how you're planning on doing that. But good luck.
Yeah, I don't fancy his position here, you know. It's not one I personally choose for myself.
10 seconds to go until the circle starts closing. How much info do you have so far on where your opponents are? None. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be hard. Page is landing some really, really good shots right now. He's allowing for his teammates to push on forward. T-Bone and I believe Ivel as well. No, it's going to be T-Bone and Vasco. They drove on in. They got themselves a spot on the edge of the circle. Now Besiktas are going to try and do the same thing. And watch out, he's running. Guys, you forgot me.
Oh no. Oh no.
Could you imagine him just randomly jumping on like the back of one of the buggies of one of the opponents? That would be the most
just cruising on in.
Exactly.
It's like, this is good.
I don't think he would notice that either if you drove the buggy. Hey, there's one on your backseat. Misa does get naded. They're not inside the circle. As I said before, they were on the quiet side, but that's because they have a bit of a gap here going down to where all the opponents are.
Moon will find themselves this time around going out in 13th place. No tag team looking to deal some damage onto both Moonwolf and Zen there as well, picking up the extra kills down from the south.
This is just a really, really hard area to fight around. I mean, there's not a whole lot that you can use for cover. I mean, sure there are, but most likely you're going to be visible on the one side or the other. You can see Havaki trying to look around, spot anything. He knows there's nades and smokes here and there. Maybe use them as an indicator where to throw your own.
Havaki tries to get the nade off, throws it forward, isn't able to get the knock in, but takes a lot of damage down himself.
I like the kind of pin-off that both Zoekt Een Naam and Besiktas kind of together, but unintentionally, have made for 4AK. They're really trying to keep them from being able to rotate inside this circle.
They're like, okay, we won't fight each other. We're going to kill everyone else that's trying to come in. Then we fight each other. Then it's game on.
Holy
Desperado, though,
cow,
not going to work out for them.
Yeah, he missed a couple of bullets there. Unfortunately, Northwest stays alive, flicks it, and gets a headshot landed in return. Not shots we normally see him miss, but now Zoekt Een Naam have become the pressure point and the focus point for their opponents, and they do go out in 11th place. Tough turn of events for them.
Yeah, both Besiktas and 4AK getting involved. This will allow 4AK to push it and try and take down Besiktas, and that's exactly what happens. Lux is on his own. Havaki finds him, and that means they've got full control down south.
The circle hard shifts into the city. James, you'll be clapping your hands with the side of this one. Everyone else is saying, oh, you gotta be kidding me.
I love a city ending, me. Some of the best moments we get. Just not for the players. No enjoyment for them. Lots of enjoyment for the commentary. We could end up with some crazy ending going down here.
True.
9 teams alive. We're at phase 6. These circles have been interesting. I wouldn't say the most difficult. Like, the rotations have been hard. It's shifted, yes, but we've not had like the complete craziness where like we've gone all the way over towards the east and had tons of water, for example.
Yeah, the early circles were pretty excusable, but then things started going crazy once we shifted back up towards El Pozo.
Spiraled out of control once again.
And it doesn't seem like there's any way of fixing that spiral, at least not with this game. The circle's only going to get worse.
When do you think the players are going to call for us not to commentate their games anymore if they keep getting terrible circles? Definitely going to start blaming you,
They probably did that a while back. We just didn't hear about it.
We've been dodging it so far.
I thought we weren't going to mention it, James.
Hey, mate, I've mentioned enough times that your phone is the thing that does it. We're both going down together. It's a sinking ship.
I can tell. No tag. They are somehow still 3 guys up. They're going to try and make their way forward. Smokes are thrown. And they'll need some more of them because they have a long and tough run to make. And Deep, he's already... I mean, he's kind of thrown down by himself. He's on the edge of the circle, and he only has OK Pro up and alive. So they've committed to a 1-1 split where it's like, I'm not going to help you, you're not going to help me. Let's see who gets the furthest.
They're trying to play the long game to get the extra placement points in there. As Tornado got a great spot to fight from. They've got Winside close by. Quickmath trying to push their way in. No tag under pressure from Riddle, who have been sat in PEL Pozo for at least the last 3 phases here. So they've been quite comfortably being able to chime it out here, fight away, and shoot onto multiple teams.
But we've talked about it before. If you don't get those kills because you're on the quiet side of the circle and you go down, let's say in 8th or 9th place, that's going to be you going up with just 1 point.
Well, they've just at least made it 3. Let's see if they can get some additional ones, because the good thing from their position is they can see so much here. All these teams come from the south. 4AK, no tag team, even Gamerlegion when they may have to move is going to be a difficult one for them to push out. As Nail Up, he's taking a few shots, lands them onto Northwest, but isn't able to get anything else in there. As the Deep long range, he's able to get it done. He's got OK Pro backing him up with shots. The Deep, he's on a mission. He's trying to get the job done. Havoki's under pressure from the side as well. It's Dino who's going to be able to finish him off. Ronnie on the hunt will avenge his teammates, but that's all he's going to be able to do for now.
2 important knocks and finish off come in from the Deep, because in all honesty, whatever he can do here is going to make it that much easier for OK Pro to try and hold off whatever is left remaining. So really impressive job coming out from Deep, and not only getting the knocks there, but also getting to flush the players.
He was on point. He got those extra points in there for his teammate, and now OK Bro can just try and hold on further for the placement points as the circle centers up. PG18 are loving life right now. This is on top of them, as is it Gamerlegion down in the south. Tornado instantly, they've got themselves out of the compound. They're moving to the next one. They're not taking any risks here, and they do it 2 players at a time. But it's Riddle that are now going to have to go the furthest. They have been forced out.
Yeah, this is not going to be easy for anyone. You can see the city ending.
That's awkward.
Hello? The last bullet in the gun gets the noggin. That's that's interesting.
Not something we see all too often from
We're saying they don't shoot so much. They rotate, right?
So when it comes to the shooting, it's like, oh, I got to remember this recoil again.
Wait, how was that? Oh, there we go. Is he now? He's already back then. He just had to warm up real quick. They haven't been shooting all the game.
Oh no, he jumps out, tries to feel like there might be an opportunity to get some additional kills here, but instead he goes straight up into Tornado.
Gamerlegion starting to get some kills in as well. They've had this compound for quite a while. Same thing for PG18. They've been chilling. You got the arena and you got the big old warehouse just on the southern side of it with 4 guys in one and 3 guys in the other. And making your way to either one of them is going to be practically impossible.
Winside with Moon losing a couple of players there.
Moonside and Moonwolf. That's going to be those are the 2 new teams.
Is that how we build one ultimate team out of their lineup?
Moonwolf. That sounds pretty, like I said, it's pretty dominant. A lot of players are left alive, of course, with all this cover available. That's normally the opposite we see on Miramar. We have like this entire circle size and then have like 1 tree and a rock for cover. But plenty of cover available for these players. It's just going to come down to now how they utilize it, how they play around it. And honestly, if they know that exactly all of it is there to be played around. This step right here, for example, from that mechanism right now, I must admit, I did not know that it was such a big downhill that you can pretty much stand up down there without being spotted.
Gonna try and do this to his advantage. He knows, okay, bro's nearby. The nade goes out. That's half health taken away from him. But he's not going to push it yet, and I like this. This is smart. Don't go. You're just still a solo player. You try to see if you get the knock-in. Would have been a kill because he was solo, but they don't know this. They don't have that information. It's not worth the risk.
Exactly. He's inside the circle too, so no reason to risk it right now. Their compound is technically still inside the circle, but they probably wouldn't want to stick around there for too much longer.
Nade's coming out. Hanny's the first one to go down. Hjort's close by. Dino's got to still run on in. O'Connell is just proned alongside OK Bro. They've got similar spots, so they might end up going near enough around the same time. Question is, if Gamerlegion thinks this is clean, that's 2 solo players you have behind all of Gamerlegion. That's scary.
We saw Clip go down just before as well, so Riddle, they're in for a tricky task here, especially if that nade lands, and it does finish off. No, it doesn't finish off anyone. It just takes down Hjort to hit him right in the face, and now it's all up to Dino to somehow stay alive here.
2 players knocked. The circle's going to be coming in a few seconds. Dino is out in the open. No tag team. They get found, and it's OK Bro that does the job. He'll get the kill up on the board, but that noise being made is going to alert Gamerlegion to his presence.
We have 3 teams, or 4 teams make that with 3 or more players alive, and then Winside and Northern Lights having everything dependent on 1 player respectively. Dino is trying to crawl on forward. His teammates will go down now, so that's going to be him
the timing
himself.
What? He didn't mean to do that, surely.
Well, I am very confused by what we just saw. Okay, bro. He's just going to take himself 2 kills. Yep. Pretty straightforward.
No, it's just easy, you know.
You naded me, I naded you. I will go down, sure, but I just got myself a ton of kills with it, and that's going to be... I was going to say the end of him. There you go. Finally, Vex does find him. Interesting turn of events here. Gamerlegion lost 2 players. PG still up with 3 guys in it. And then you have the 4-man strong Tornado Energy. And 1 Winside player just chilling on the northwestern side. That's Denethor. Denethor was getting shot at earlier, and he stayed alive through that. And right now he's just grinding these placement points. Circle is going to go dead center. We all know it. And everyone has to leave their houses.
The last one that will have to leave is PG18, though. Could that be the beneficial factor if they want to stay in there for the longest time and wait for Tornado to creep out? Because already our solo player is going to have to move probably first alongside Gamerlegion around similar time. But Gamerlegion are trying to go for it already. You see it, the smokes are down, and they're starting to push out a little bit. But Tornado trying to counter it in their own way. Smoke's going down here, trying to use a bit of the cover they have with the wall. This could be huge for Tornado if they can actually get closer to PG18 here.
It's going to be extremely interesting to see how they'll fight this one off. Denethor has been spotted. I don't think there's any way out of this one for him, unfortunately. Comfort spotted out Gamerlegion as well. They were the first ones to have to rotate on through. Vex gets spotted out, and that's going to be him going down as well. Just 1 player left remaining now in Hamster.
Winside, they finally do go out, but 4th place is not bad, all things considered. Gamerlegion next to fall as well. Hamster's down. Now this puts this just into Tornado with 4 players against PG18 with 3.
PG needs to get a guy out of this house. If they get called out, like if they get pinned in the compound and they can't leave it, that's going to be an... I mean, not unnecessary because it's hard either way to play it, but they need to get out on this wall now, and they can see DC is already outside of it. I like to see it.
Tornado have played this so well. The ground they've managed to gain pushing out of this has been huge, but now it's about landing those shots against these forward-pushing PGA team players. Deez is the one further forward at the moment. They know exactly where he is. He's taking some shots, but it's how Nailab and Yannick are going to try and get into this. 30 bit health of damage done towards Deez, and he's again having to use the first aid kit, trying to just hold on, but damage is being done across the board. Tornado are just shooting up from all sides here, and PG-18, they're just having to duck down. There's nades coming out as well, and this is not looking good for him.
Not at all. You can see Nailab trying to hold the angle, but he's taking a whole lot of damage his way, down to 16 HP. There would be 1.5 tick of blue damage coming his way to take him down. This is extremely difficult. Deez trying to hold off here. Takes the run on up. 3v3 still in this area. 3v4 maybe now.
Oh, brilliant stuff there. Leah starts off strong. Melman's there as well. And that's an easy cleanup for Tornado. 11 kills and a win to kick things off with here on Miramar. And the most impressive thing about that was just Tornado had the guts to push out. They got shot at by Gamerlegion down in the south. They left their compound and they still went and said, we need to take control now before PG-18 did. Because PG-18 would have been able to just sit there for a bit longer and wait for Tornado to come to them. That wall and just how it worked out was huge and allowed